to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined here on Fight Week by Mr. Johnny Nelson, my friend. Good to see you. How are we?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to be back in London again, especially at the York Hall.
I know you said on Sky Sports, I think it was something along the lines of the heir apparent about Caroline Dubois. Ever since she turned over, it's always been, where's she going to end up? Kind of the first step on that world title ladder and that top level ladder on Saturday.
You've got to be prepared in many different ways, and for Caroline, headlining the bill is another learning part of her career. It's pressure. Can she deal with the pressure, or is she going to? Is it a walk in the park for her? I think Caroline, the way she fights, the way she carries herself in and out of the ring, tells me she can. She has the cool. She has the confidence in her ability. She's polite, respectful outside of the ring, meek and mild. But when it comes to fighting, she just wants to fight. And she reminds me of Kate Taylor. Kate Taylor attitude. Kate Taylor, if you didn't know she boxed and you spoke to her outside, you think, gee, you fight. So I think
Never heard a bad word from her mouth. Just
yeah. And Caroline's the kind of fighter where she's got that spite about her when the bell goes. But outside the ring, you'd have no idea that's what she did.
I think because she's so young, people kind of perhaps dismiss the fact that she could go in there with the older ladies, the ones who've been doing it for a little bit more time, but she's absolutely adamant that she could go in there with the top girls now and smash them to bits. Like, she's dead cert about that.
That's what I'm saying, and I like that attitude. I like that hunger. I like the rudeness of it, because and you see fighters that are coming through. They look at the ones that have done it and they respect them, but not respect them enough to say, "I'll let you bust my ass. I can beat you, but thank you." And I rate her appetite. I do think she's the heir apparent, and when you've got people like Clarissa Shields bigging up, shouting her name out, saying, "Look, you've got to watch out for this girl." Now, Clarissa's no fool.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Caroline do a thing on Saturday night. Another girl that we just watched in the ring that I want to talk about, Fran. She looks immaculate on the pads, and she looks like she can bang. Boxing name. Great kind of building blocks that she's got there, and she looks like she's got that star potential as well.
Well, her dad Mick Hennessy has got 2 fighters in his family now, and so he's going to go very bold and grey pretty quick, man. That's a lot of pressure, but I just saw on the pads there, a boxing debut on Saturday night, and she looks on point. She looks like she's been doing a lot behind the scenes before she actually gets here. So I like her. And I'm curious. I don't know anything about her. I've not seen her in action. So what we've seen on the pads so far, you know, it creates some interest, some conversation. But let's have judgment after Saturday night.
Johnny, I want to take it back to the weekend just gone and Joyce's second defeat to Zhilei Zhang. How do you kind of assess that whole night for Joe? It kind of looked like it's a little bit of a disaster from start to finish, to be honest.
Joe wanted the rematch with Zhang because he thought, you know what, I can deal with him. I've got his number, I know how to deal with him. Made a mistake the first time, tried to rectify it, got beat worse the second time. He's come up against his bogeyman. He'll fight 100 times and he'll probably lose 99 of them. People calling for him to walk away and jack in. Why? You know, why do that? If the reality is that he's become chinny, then yeah, he should jack in because he gets hit too easy, if that's the reality. But in reality, we won't find out until he boxes somebody else. But the problem is this, is about ambition. When you know there's somebody out there that can definitely beat you, how ambitious are you to stay in that pot, stay in that pool, stay there, because you might come across him one day again. He knows Zhang's always got his number. He messed up the first time, got knocked out the second time, and so now what does Joe do? I saw, you know, I've heard talk about, you know, getting him in with other heavyweights, domestic heavyweights, and see how he rolls on. That's what you got to do. You just got to wait and see how he is with other fighters. But it's for Joe Knight and what his ambition is, how that knockout has affected his confidence.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw what Tony Bellew said. He said that without the toughness and the chin that Joyce has, he's a British level fighter. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, because fundamentally he gets hit far too easy. So with him getting hit far too easy, if you've not got a good chin, you're in the wrong business. So all of a sudden, the question is his chin. You can question it first knockout, then you think, shit, maybe he's all of a sudden become chinny because he's got knocked out. It's worse, the second one. So if that has developed overnight and it's gone, he needs to look at something else. I agree. But we will not find out until he gets in with somebody else and gets hit on the chin and see what the reaction is.
So you look at him now, or say theoretically he doesn't have the chin that has taken him to this stage of his career. Do you look at him then in the same breath as Fraser Clark's or in Fabio Wardley and the British title level guys?
If he's got no chin, yeah. But as I'm saying, it's part of his arm, it's part of his toughness. And if he's got no chin, there's a problem. Because, yeah, when you see him fight, you think, shit, he gets hit too easy. But you can't, it's the wrong game to be in if you can't take a shot. So, and I'm not saying he can't take a shot, what I'm saying is the last two fights are making us think all of a sudden he can't take a shot.
Razza, mate, not AFL anymore. Zhilei Zhang, where do we rank him amongst the top heavyweights? I mean, after he beat Filip Hrgovic, I know there was a lot of love around him, kind of went a bit quiet. The Joyce thing has absolutely blown him up. I mean, we got top 4 shouts, top 3 shouts. He's a dangerous heavyweight. Where do you rank him in amongst the Furies, the Usyks, the Wilders?
Dangerous heavyweight, but I don't think he beats any of the top 4 we're talking about. In reality, if you can box and you got some smarts about you, you beat him. So he's a perfect gatekeeper to get to that top 4, but I don't think he beats the top 4. If they're smart enough and sharp enough to get the job done. So let's not all of a sudden get gassed and think, oh my God, he'll beat X, Y, Z. He won't. Unless they get stupid. He won't.
Who would you prefer to see him with if you could pick any of the even top 10 guys? What's kind of your preference?
I give them all hellfire, but would I like to see him in with Wilder? Yeah. Because that punch, because it then would test Wilder's punch power. And I've seen Wilder behind on points before, and that punch has just saved him. So yeah, I'd like to see that, be intrigued with that. And if he can take the shots on Wilder, then I'd say, well, maybe Wilder, because that's a strong possibility. For the rest of them, I know AJ beat him in amateurs. Amateurs and pros are two completely different worlds.
I suppose it's good storyline wise. He put him on his arse in the amateurs. I know, obviously, like I said, it's different, but it's a good storyline.
I got beat twice by a guy in the amateurs and knocked him out as a professional. I mean, knocked him under the bottom rope. So it don't mean jack shit. So you've got to have discipline, speed. And when I say discipline is don't get greedy. Because it's easy to hit. Don't stand there, start whack. You've got to be disciplined and patient. Pick your shots, pop your shots, pick your shots, work off them. Because what happens is, because he's easy to hit, you get inside the pocket and want to get involved in him, and that's when he knocks you out. That's when he's got the power to you get gassed out and get knocked out.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Zhilei does next. One thing's for sure, he is just an exciting fight, and he looks so relaxed. Like, I know there was pressure on Joe rematch-wise, but he just looked loose, he didn't look tense. It kind of looked like it was something he was doing in training almost.
Because he knew what he was. He knew. When you get in there and you think you can beat somebody, you're not sure. But when you're sure you can beat somebody, you think, I know exactly what to do with you. So he knew. So that was like, it was a different vision.
Johnny, your thoughts on Conor Benn's return? I know it was early hours of Sunday morning, but it was never going to be a low-key or quiet return in boxing.
So the political wrangle rolls on, and so that'll roll on, and that cloud will always be over Conor Benn, regardless of how they somehow deal with this. And we've seen it with other fighters, Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, we're going on and on. If I was Conor, I would have bit the bullet, he'd have done the band by now. But that's by the by. Let them argue about that. Let's look at the performance. Conor Benn, even before this had happened, Conor Benn is a forever developing fighter, getting better and better and better. I thought he boxed brilliant on Saturday night. I think he's improving every time he fights. Loved everything about the style of fight. So now people are saying, but Johnny's a drug cheat or X, Y, Z. Drugs do not make you a better fighter. They might make you fitter, might help you lose weight, might make you a bit stronger. But they don't give you an Einstein boxing IQ. I boxed 3 drug cheats and beat them. Boxing, taking gear don't make you a better fighter. Trust me, it might make you physically fitter, but that's it. What I saw on Saturday was the development of a young man and I'm just talking on the technical aspect of it, that is getting better and better and better. And I like what I saw about him. So I'm a fan of the fight game. But unfortunately, he has to deal with the other side of his business first for people to really feel comfortable about appreciating what he's doing.
Talk about the cloud that might hang over Conor. Say we roll into the Eubank fight, a mega fight, one that kind of gets interest outside of your normal boxing circles. Do you think a fight like that will kind of ease the pressure of Conor and people may begin to forget this the whole past 18 months?
No, what needs to be done, it needs to be dealt with correctly. And you don't know what consequences would be there for Eubank Jr. If he boxes Conor. He might get a ban. Because then, what's the point of managing a boxer out of control? You know, if you say, well, you can fight him, but you can, people can do what they're doing and there's no consequence. So I think that business has to get cleared up first before you start getting crazy with that idea. And I know Eddie said the Eubank fight is a fight we want next. That's play with words. Don't get giddy and excited. Of course we want it next. Can it be made next? I think everything has to be ticked and granted before he gets that far.
After Chris's win against Liam, obviously there are multiple avenues he can go. But the guys at world title level, yes, of course, a world title is a world title. But when we talk about names and kind of general interest, it is going to be the Conor Benn fight. Can you see Chris taking any other avenue?
He's got the world's his oyster. He's in a great position right now, and Conor Benn can sit and wait, and he can say, you know what, you got to sort your business out. I've got other fish to fry.
I suppose it could still happen in 18 months' time, 12 months' time.
They're all sat ringside like sharks, waiting. So now he's in a great position. So it wouldn't surprise me if Chris said, nah, you know what, wait, sort your business out.
Johnny, what did you make of Francis Ngannou and Mike Tyson, that clip we saw from the workout?
You had a former champion giving some advice to a young fighter coming through. It wasn't Tyson choosing sides, it was Tyson giving a tip. Any animosity between fighter A and fighter B, between the fighters, as a fan, you don't have to dislike one or the other. And so Tyson, he was obviously asked, give me some tips, and he gave it. Either way, when the bell goes, the best man will win.
And I'm guessing Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury, I expect Tyson Fury to win. I think Ngannou's a powerful, big but slow fighter. That's stepping in with the best heavyweight in the world.
Are you expecting Tyson to treat you like a bit of a run around?
He shouldn't do. Listen, he's pulled off the great train robbery. He's getting paid ridiculous amount of money for fighting a guy that's never had one professional fight. He's a prize fight. That's what he's done.
Choose to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,